right. I like OJ on Twitter. The next one says, hey, Bill, I'm going to be straight with you. I like listening to OJ talk. I know he probably committed an unforgivably horrible act. But I really like his demeanor on Twitter. Besides, if you can still clap for a president who has ordered thousands of deaths, any of the last 6, and certainly more than half of all the presidents, thousands of deaths, dude. Easy, buddy. Let's go. You're hundreds of thousands. Well, I guess if you're going to include all 6. Oh, Slick Willie wasn't involved in a war, but he definitely bombed a country to get a blowjob charge off. You know, changed the focus of the news, anyways, it seemed. Anyways, then can I at least clap? Can I at least follow him on Twitter? I'm not even clapping. I'm just watching. Every time he says, hello, Twitter world, I get a warm feeling. I don't feel bad, and I want to know if you think I should. Thanks, and go fuck yourself. No, I mean, I don't think you're condoning what the fucking guy did. I don't know. You know, I don't give a shit. It's your fucking world, man. Go on the internet and do whatever the fuck you want. You follow the guy. Who gives a shit? Gives a shit. I mean, I watched the first 48. That show is for entertainment, and that's people, like, dealing with the fact that a loved one was murdered. You know, people still watch that. People don't, well, I'm trying to watch to see the person get caught. Shut the fuck up. It's not the only reason why you're watching. So, yeah, continue to follow the guy. Who's the first podcast that's going to get him as a guest? All right, fatherly advice for a lady. All right, what do you want? You want fatherly advice for a lady, right? Okay, well, it's time for advice. Yeah. One more time. Man, well, fuck yourself. All right. All right. Oh, my God. I know. I got to get more sound effects. I'm starting to like these sound effects. Becoming a prop act here. All right. Looking for some advice regarding my estranged father. All right. The last time I saw or heard from him was nearly 30 years ago when my parents divorced. Oh, my God. First of all, I'm so sorry he did that to you. How do you walk away from a kid like that? Oh, he was a scary, abusive alcoholic with poor boundaries and very manipulative. Well, maybe it's good that he did take off. In spite of the odds, my oldest sister and I have grown up to be strong, successful, and loving people. Yeah, that would be your mom. We are both in our mid-30s. Well, good for you guys. We recently found out through a cousin that my father is interested in seeing us before he dies. He's not sick, but he's nearly 70 and just wants to make sure we are okay. At 35. Are you okay? You need Invisalign? He also mentioned an inheritance, which may or not be true. He's a known pathological liar. Yeah. Yeah, I think your inheritance is an Anheuser-Busch at this point. Google Street View of his home shows 2 shiny red Camaros in the driveway. Wow. Presumably one for me and one for my sister. Ooh, I don't know about that. My sister and maybe it is. I don't know. When was the picture taken? Maybe he's dealing drugs and he didn't pay 2 guys who drive red Camaro. You don't know what you're walking into. Look at you acting like you're in the CIA. My sister has a family and is understandably protective of them and has little interest in having contact with them. But I am a single woman with no children and a string of failed relationships, partially due to the fact that I've chose partners that are not the best for me, like my father. And I've had a hard time receiving love and believing a man will stick around when the going gets tough. Oh, man, that's the fucking worst thing ever to do to a daughter. Ugh. My question is, should I agree to meet with my father after all these years? I'm hoping that rewriting my relationship with him will in turn help me choose better partners in the future. To be clear, my motivation is not about inheritance or car, but a chance at healing that part of myself. There is an equal chance that it could be a disaster, and I'm still afraid of him and worry I am setting myself up for future pain. Yeah, that would definitely be an issue. Is he reaching out all of a sudden because it's the end of his life and he's run out of money and he needs something from you? Also, choosing to meet with him may upset my sister, who I have a good relationship with, and I don't want him to come between us. Thanks for the advice and go fuck yourself. Well, if this is something you need to do, then your sister should understand that. And if you're afraid of this guy, I would meet him in a public place with somebody else. I mean, that gets, when you say you're afraid of this guy, I don't know. Has this guy got a gun? If he's a gun guy, I wouldn't meet this guy at all. Yeah, this is a tough one. I would ask somebody in law enforcement the proper way to go about meeting this guy if you're going to meet him. And then I would also go out and I'd get a therapist, because sitting down at a Starbucks with your estranged father, you know, to try and fix 30 years of your life, it's not going to happen, you know. It's going to take a lot more than that. And I don't know. If I can just put my opinion in here, the fact that he's an addict, a lot of addicts are horrifically selfish fucking people. And he might be doing this more for him than for you, because it's the end of his life and he feels guilty. And now he wants to show up and buy you a couple of shiny fucking things so he can feel good when he dies. It could be that. So I think, yeah, I think you're gonna have to, like, as far as like fixing this shit, you're gonna have to go to therapy, is what that is. But the great thing is that you're a woman and there's no shame in crying, which is really a healing thing to do, which took me forever to learn. So you're gonna have to go down that road, I believe. But as far as like meeting this guy, I would try to check with somebody who's in law enforcement. If you know a buddy who's a cop or something like that, and ask them, you know, in fact, if you got a friend that's a cop, I would check this fucking guy out and see what the hell he's been up to, arrest record and all of this shit. You know, I don't know, because I don't want to tell you to go meet this guy and have, God forbid, have something fucking happen. So that is my advice. Go to therapy and talk to a cop before you meet this fucking lunatic. All right? That's it. Good luck to you, and I hope you meet the guy you're supposed to be with. All right. Overrated/underrated. Underrated, jury duty. I had jury duty today. I really enjoyed it. It's interesting to me. I love fucking jury duty. I love jury duty. Having said that, I haven't been to it in forever. I know I'm overdue. I went to it last night. Jeez, I shouldn't say this on the podcast. Jesus Christ. You know, you just don't want to get stuck in a fucking OJ trial where it's going to be like a year of your goddamn life. You know what I mean? And in the end, you just let the guy go anyways. Underrated. I wanted to say that learning to break down a whole chicken is a massively underrated skill. Yes, it is. It's not very hard to learn. No, it isn't. There's YouTube videos on it. Buying a whole bird is usually cheaper per pound than the individual parts, and it really comes in handy every Thanksgiving. The biggest fucking thing you have to have is you have to have a sharp fucking knife. Because when you cut off the breastises on top, when you go to make your slices, when you slice through the breast meat, you want to make sure that, first of all, they're thick so they don't cool off by the time you bring it to the table. And then also you want that little piece of skin on top. And then the way you plate it is you have your fucking 2 rows of breast meat, okay, laying there like a fucking deck of cards at the beginning of fucking Texas Hold'em. And then I put my dark meat on the outside. I go thigh, a thigh, a drumstick, and then I stick the wings on the other side. No, I think I put the thighs in the middle of the plate on either side. It's always a showstopper. Okay. I agree with every part of that. He said, I learned by watching Jacques Pepin make a chicken galantine on YouTube and then trying to copy what he did. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend you sharpen your knives and give it a shot if you haven't already. I already did. It's one of my favorite things to fucking do. You know what's a hard thing? You know, is you think where to cut the leg from the thigh, you think it's way further down. It's actually closer than you'd think to the knee bone there. And then I have to rewatch it because I have a problem with, like, when I get the wings off, I tend to just cut the wing in half and miss the rest of that shit. But I got it pretty much down. I love it. All right. Okay, here we go. Now we're into the the teacher portion of this. And this is the part of the podcast that's going to cost me time and money.